Wicka wicka, my name is Nate. I like macaroni. And if you ain't my homie, you can catch baloney. Bologna. Yeah. MC Nate in the house. Check it. What is going on? It is your podcast host, Nate Larry of the Talkin Block. You are watching Talkin Block live here on YouTube. Thank you for taking the time to come back another week. Didn't post last week, but that's all right, because we're back again with more fun-filled events on the topic of the day, news, poem of the day, and black news. All over. We back. And I just appreciate you for taking the time to join in. Now, I also do want to tell you guys that if you have not seen on TikTok already and or Instagram, and this is your first time hearing it, October 21st, we are celebrating 4 years in the podcast. That is right. So go check the link in the bio on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and go buy you a shirt, because we got gear out now. I know, right? Crazy. We got a little spooky block shirt. That's to celebrate, little festivities of Halloween. And then we also got a regular shirt with the logo, Toast to Be Coming on the back. And then, when the podcast started, on the sleeve. It comes in many different colors, 2 types of shirt colors, black or white. If you want to customize colors within the logo, you can just DM me on Instagram and we can get that started. It is $25, not too much. So go ahead and get you a shirt. Go support your podcast, because, what other better way to support your podcast than without a shirt, without some gear to, walk around the street and somebody point out, be like, hey, what's that? Be like, oh yeah, this is the podcast that I listen to. You like it? And be like, I love that. And then be like, you gotta go get you one. And then, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You see, somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. But yeah, October 21st. That celebrates 4 years, and I do want to let you guys know that the Spooky Block shirt does end October 31st, the end of the month. As for the shirt, because I did want to release this information a little earlier, but I'm releasing it out now, I will go until the second week of November. So you have until the second week of November to get you a shirt. Now, don't be alarmed. It's not that I'm going to be permeating the shirt forever. I just want to do it in steps. So this season, we'll go until the second week of November, and then we'll probably put it out next season, coming around Christmas. You guys prepared for Christmas, have a Christmas shirt or a couple Christmas shirts, as well as the regular shirts, and possibly add on to, what we sell. So don't be alarmed. Just because you missed this round doesn't mean that there's not going to be a next round. I promised you there will be plenty of time and opportunities to get you a shirt if you don't get one this time. All right. On to podcast, not podcast, because this is the podcast. On to poem of the day, written by your wonderful podcast host, Nathaniel Larrier. As you guys know, we love to talk about poems of the day, poetry, to get those brain juices flowing, whether you're at work, whether you're in the car, whether you're on the job, whether it's early in the morning, late at night, during the afternoon, whatever the case may be, just helping you trigger that mind, because you might be tired, you might not want to be at work, you just might want to, a little brain teaser, you might need a little help. I don't know, but that's point of the poem of the day, to get those brain juices flowing. As you also know, your podcast host does not like to title his poems, so you guys comment down below what you think the title should be when you hear it. All right. And the title, as I just said, there is no title. And the poem of the day goes like this. When my life ended, I thought it was because of love. And it was, but it was also the reason to live. Not live for love, live for you. Again, just to slow it down, read it line by line. When my life ended, I thought it was because of love. And it was, but it was also the reason to live. Not live for love, live for you. As you guys know, I always say that poetry can mean a lot of different things to many different people. But the only person that truly knows what the poem meant at that time is the person who wrote it. And because I'm the person that wrote it, I can tell you the true meaning of what it is. But I mean, don't let it deter from you. Don't let it deter what you possibly thought this meant, because you could be on the right track. But at this time, I just needed. I think it was about a week. I took a break from talking to people and all that, because a lot was in the works at the same time. A lot was going on in my mind about different things, and I was losing a lot of love for certain things. And I'm just now in the stage of life where I have to figure out what I love and what is going to help me keep going. So I just think at this time I was like, you know what? These things I love, but I'm going to continue doing them, but not because I love them, but because this is what I want to live for. This is the things that I want to see myself succeed in. These are the things that I want to produce great things in. And it wasn't that, I wasn't going to stop loving it. It was just I had to figure out a different way to love it. Because if I have to figure out a different way to love it, then I'm able to live for it even more, and I'm able to enjoy these different things. And that's what it goes for you guys that just lose sight of the love that you have for something. And I've posted this on TikTok too. But it's not that you don't love it anymore. You just got to figure out a different way to love it. And if it is that you don't love it anymore, is it something that you throw away? At the same time, there's going to be times in life where I know that it's coming up soon where I got to figure out things that I don't love or that I love too much that need to go. And that it is, although it's going to hurt, they just got to go, And that's just where I was at that point. It's not that I'd want to live for love. It's not that I want to live for the things that I love, because sometimes love isn't always what makes things last. But it was just living for the fact that I want to see that thing succeed. I want to see that person succeed. I want to see, me succeed in whatever it is that I was doing. So that's Poem of the Day, written by your podcast host, Nate Larrier. On to the fun topics of the podcast. ESPN on the Talkin Block. A lot of fun-filled things this week. Honestly, really not. I will say that next week, I don't know if I want to talk about ESPN on the Talkin Block. I might shift it. Go back to interviews or just a regular topic of, just encouragement, you could say. Because we are in the middle of the season, and this is where everything gets a little dull and boring, because it's not the beginning of the season, so we're not expecting a lot of our teams anymore, or the expectations are going down or going up. It's also not the end of the season where it's close to playoffs and close to Super Bowls where everything is hyped, because everything is on the line to see who's going to get the Lombardi trophy. Just saying. But we got the 49ers and the Seahawks. 49ers won 36-24. With the starters back, I will say that the 49ers look a lot better. Deebo Samuel was in there. George Kittle was in there. Sadly, Christian McCaffrey is not returning this season due to him being in rehab. I think a couple weeks ago, ESPN posted it. He was in rehab. Hamstring or calf is not getting any better, so he is out for the rest of the season. But hey, with some of the normal starters back, Juwan Jennings, George Mason, they all look good. I think that they are back on the road to being what we all know them to be. As for the Seahawks, the best thing I got is Chanel Taylor ran for a 97 return yard touchdown. Seahawks have been plummeting a little bit. I mean, between last week when DK Metcalf dropped a couple passes, granted, it's not that it's unexpected. It's just this early on in the season, you expect him to be together, but I guess not. It's not that the Seahawks look bad. I just think that there's a little fine tuning going on that they have to do, and they'll be fine. But yeah, it's, actually I won't do that. I was going to talk about the records, but because I don't have it written down in here, I won't. But on to the next game, Jaguars versus the Bears. as we all know, Caleb Williams is finally starting to look like the first round pick that he is too called to be. Looked a lot better. I will say that it took the Bears a little minute to get it together. I think they didn't get it together until like late in the third quarter, so second half. And then finally, defense when they act right, offense when they act right. As for the Jaguars, you know, they're Jaguars. ETN was up there, and that's really all I can think of, because it just Trevor Lawrence. I think it's time for him to be moved off from the Jaguars and hopefully onto something better. But yeah. Bears won 35-16. Buccaneers versus the Saints. Bucks just took this and ran with it. Bucks won 51-27. Baker Mayfield with too many interceptions and picks. But at the same time, Derek Carr was not in the game, so that's probably why the Saints were looking a lot better than they. Wait, let me rephrase that. That's why the Saints were looking a lot less better than they normally do, was because Rattler, and I won't say that Rattler is a bad quarterback. He looked good. It wasn't good chemistry between the team and all that. But yeah, Sean Tucker had a really good game. Number 44, running back. So good on them for playing with the Buccaneers. Ravens versus the Commanders. This was a game that I think everybody was anticipating on, and it did not disappoint. Jaden Daniels, I'm still putting him up at number 1 for Rookie of the Year. Don't care what anybody has to say. The only thing that happened was Commanders just went against a really good team. That's it. Honestly, when you look at it play by play, every fourth down was a completion for Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels was passing and completing. The only thing that happened was that the Ravens are just a little better than the Commanders, and that is it. Nothing special. It wasn't that the Commanders were playing trash. It wasn't that the Ravens were playing, mediocre. The Ravens were playing good. Zay Flowers was showing out this game, but really it was just that the Commanders went against a better team. What does that mean? They are still in Super Bowl contention spot. And with this, they have a lot of fine-tuning to do. But if they can do that, watching the film off of this Ravens game, because I do believe that Ravens is top tier. Under Kansas City Chiefs, I'd put Ravens next. That's just that. So they went against a really good top contender team. Now all they have to do is fine-tune, and they will be unstoppable for the rest of the season. That's it. But Ravens did win 30-23. Cardinals versus the Packers. Packers won 34-13. The Packers defense is what sold it for them. Honestly, I think that is what is going to be the big separation for a little minute as Jordan Love gets back into the game. Not that Jordan Love looks bad. He had a knee injury. He was running out there this previous game. But defense is just the ones that are going to have to step up for a little minute as Jordan Love gets comfortable running on that knee again. And that's what happened this game. Packers defense is what helped them win the game. Colts versus Titans. The Colts won 20-17. Joe Flacco was out there. Levis looks like Levis as usual. I saw this video that was talking about how the only reason that Levis is the starting QB is just so that we can get memes, and I feel like that is absolutely correct because that is all he is good for right now. And that's that. Texans versus the Patriots. Texans won 41-21. Drake May was popped out in the game. Drake May looks like Drake May. Nothing different from him. Pretty mediocre game. Browns versus the Eagles. I know the Eagles won. I didn't write the points for some odd reason. But I will say AJ Brown was back. What's his name? Not Swift. Oh man. I can't think of it. But he got clocked during the Saints game. He's back now. I don't know about this Eagles team anymore. they looked good at first, but now they just seem pretty and I'm not sure if it's because the starters are back, the star starters are back, and now they're just trying to get in the groove again, or what it is, but they're just playing pretty mediocre right now, and hopefully they can get it together before it's crunch time. Chargers versus the Broncos. Chargers 123-16. Not much for this game. I will say that I wrote in here, Cortland Sutton had a controversial one-handed touchdown. I think they ruled it a touchdown at going back and playing the review, but you could see where there was a little controversy, because what happened is he caught it, he hit the ground, and it looks like from all angles that he doesn't really have much control of it, but it stayed under him, so they were trying to see if the ground was supporting that or if it was completely him in control. So Steelers versus the Raiders. Steelers 132-13. Raiders are very much imposters. Raiders, I don't know what was going on at the beginning of the season, but they're just trash now. This game was very bland. I think that the Steelers are also another team that the defense is going to be the reason why they get far, because as offensively, it just wasn't really all that. I mean, George Pickens had a couple nice, good catches and, all that. But otherwise than that, it was just, we give the MVP award to the defense. Falcons versus the Panthers, 38-20. Falcons won 38-20. Not much for there. They're the Panthers. Dalton. Kirk Cousins was showing out, and that's that. Lions versus the Cowboys. Lions surely gave the BTB. I won't say BTA, but you know what BTA means. If you know what BTA means, well, we're gonna say BTB, belt to butt, because the Lions won 47-9, and yeah, that's all I gotta say is, ooh, Dak is in for it, because they are also another imposter team that is possible. That just, I don't know what was going on, but it is what it is, and that's that. Bengals versus the Giants. Bengals won 17-7. That's all I can say for that. Bengals look good, Giants look and we hope to see more. And lastly but not least, Bills versus the Jets. Bills won 23-20. That was a good game. Of course, if you have seen, Aaron Rodgers threw out one of his good old Hail Marys, and at first it was ruled. One referee said it was incomplete. The other referee came over and did this, because as we watched the replay, Lazard came in and caught it. Eventually the game went into overtime. And the only I will say this, the Jets should have won, yes. But because the Jets missed 2 field goals that hit the uprights and then out, made it no good, the Bills came in last seconds and they made their kick and won 23-20. And that is all for the games this week. Like I said, next week, I'm not sure if we will be talking about ESPN on the Talkin Block. I will try and change it up, because it is the middle of the season and it's boring. It's we might talk about a little bit of these games that are coming up, because there are a couple good games up here, but otherwise than that, we'll see. But next week we got Broncos versus the Saints. If you don't know, if you're new to the podcast, this is where I go down the list of what is going to go happen, all the games that are happening next week, and I tell you who I think is going to win. Broncos versus the Saints. I'm going to give it to the Saints. Patriots versus the Jags. Although the Jags are trash, I don't. If Drake May continues playing at the same time, the Patriots don't look too good. I'm just going to give it to the Jags. Lions versus the Vikings. This is going to be a good game, and I'm going to give this team the benefit of the doubt, only because they were on bye last week, but we'll see how they do this week. I'm going to give it to the Vikings. Titans versus the Bills. I'm going to give it to the Bills. Dolphins versus the Colts. I'm going to give it to the Colts. Seahawks versus the Falcons. Fight of the Birds. I'm going to give it to the Falcons. Texans versus the Packers. Another good game that I think is going to go down, but I'm going to give it to the Packers. I think that Jordan Love looks a lot better than CJ Stroud right now. Granted, the offense does have their powerhouse, which Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, Schultz, who else? Nico Collins. But I think that the run game for the Packers is where they're going to set themselves apart, and that's what is going to help the Packers win. Again, with their defense looks really good, and I think the defense is going to hold it down. So I'm going to give it to the Packers. Bengals versus the Browns. I'm going to give it to the Bengals. Eagles versus the Giants. Give it to the Eagles. Raiders versus the Rams. Every time I choose my team, they end up losing, but against the Raiders, there's no way they can win. I hope that they win. It would just make no sense for them not to win, even without their star players. They did it against the 49ers. So for them to do it against the 49ers, if they lose against the Raiders, there's no coming back from this season. Panthers versus the Commanders. I'm going to give it to the Commanders. Chiefs versus the 49ers. Super Bowl rematch. Just kidding. I'm going to give it to the 49ers. I think the 49ers look a lot better than the Chiefs. I was talking to somebody and I was like, the Chiefs don't look that good this year, but only because they're only beating so many teams by a margin. When really, no matter if they're trash or good, they should be beating them exponentially, and that's not happening. So I think that the 49ers are going to win. Jets versus Steelers. I'm going to give it to the Steelers. Although the Jets look really good, I just think that Justin Fields and the defense are going to take that win. Ravens versus the Bucks. I'm going to give it to the Ravens. And lastly, Chargers versus the Cardinals. I'm going to give it to the Cardinals. And that is all I got on ESPN on the Talking Block. What's going on in the world? What's going on in your neck of the woods? What can you tell me about what is going on in the neighborhood? It is news time. On today's news, it comes from CBS News. 23andMe faces an uncertain future. Here's how to delete your DNA data. Before I get to reading, I just want to let you know that this will answer so many questions. If you have a 23andMe account and you're thinking about deleting it, this is going to answer that question. If you wanted to start one and you weren't sure if you were going to, this is going to answer that question. If you are about to pay for it right now and you're like, this is a lot of money, and you don't know if you should, this is going to answer your question. If you're on the fence of whether or not to start one or not to, if you want to find that family history and asking if it is worth it, this is going to answer your question. Basically, what I'm telling you is don't do it. 23andMe, a genetic testing ancestry tracing company, collects the most personal kind of data from its customer, their DNA. Now, after a data breach in late 2023 and full board registration, the company faces an uncertain future, and many customers believe the genetic information they once willingly hand over could be vulnerable. CEO Ann Wojcicki has also previously said she'd consider a potential takeover of the company, which has raised concerns among customers about what would happen to their data in the event of a sale. Wojcicki later clarified that she is not considering third-party takeover proposals and that she intends to take the company private. Ann also expressed her strong commitment to customer privacy and pledged to maintain our current privacy policy, including following the intended completion and acquisition she is pursuing, 23andMe said in its statements on CBS Money Match. In social media posts on X earlier this month, Eva Gablerin, director of cybersecurity at Electronic Frontier Foundation, EFF, suggested that 23andMe account holders take steps to delete data held by the company. If you have a 23andMe account today, it is a good day to log in and request the deletion of your data, she wrote. Other cybersecurity experts reinforced that users' data is no more vulnerable today in the Other cybersecurity experts reinforced that users' data is no more vulnerable today in the midst of the company turmoil, but that all 23andMe customers should review its privacy policies and consider how and with whom they want to share their data. Some other subtopics in here are: is my data safe? What can someone do with my genetic data? Can I delete my data? And so on and so forth. Basically, what somebody can do with your data is really just create a whole new you, or possibly put it into somebody else. There's so much you can do with, DNA. at the same time, with this DNA, that can set you up for failure. Granted, I don't want to say that it's going to happen, but there are crazy people out there that can set your DNA at a crime scene when you are halfway across the country, but somehow your DNA is at a crime scene in California and you live in New York. You never know. It's possible. So, yeah, if you have a 23andMe account, be careful. And as the spokesman said, most likely it's best to delete it, but also review their privacy policies. For those of you who want to start one, don't do it. And for all the other ones that are just now going to go to a different one, different ancestry program or whatever you want to call it, I suggest you don't do that either, because if they were easily susceptible to corruption, well, what do you think for the others? Get what I'm saying? I hope you get what I'm saying. But yeah, that is all I got for the news. As for black news, I don't have anything specifically for black news, but we are going to talk about new black movies of 2024 ranked by fans. This was recently updated October 15th, so it is fairly new. If you disagree, I don't know what to tell you, but this is what I'm reading. We're going to go, I think there's 26 up here. We're just going to go to the top 10. If you want to see all 26, I will post the link in the information as usual. But coming in at number 1 is Beverly Hills Cop XOF. This stars, I always forget his name, and I'm looking right at it. Oh man, we're just gonna read it and hopefully we find the name. Beverly Hills Cop XOF features Eddie Murphy. There we go, reprising his roles on the iconic detective Axel Foley. The film, a continuation of the beloved franchise, also stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Taylor Page, and Kevin Bacon. In this installment, Axel returns to Beverly Hills when his daughter Jane's life is threatened, teaming up with old partners to unravel a complex conspiracy linked to the police corruption case. So basically kind of like Bad Boys, but not Bad Boys, just saying. Well, the new one at least. Coming in at number 2 is Shirley, starring Miss Regina King. This takes the story of Miss Shirley Crimson becoming the first black congresswoman, and I have seen this movie. This is a very good movie. So if you're into documentaries or biopics, in this case, because this is a biopic, not a documentary really, but that is a good movie to watch. Also, if you're into history, also if you're into black history, good movie to watch. Coming in at number 3, Bad Boys Ride for Life, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. Of course, woosah. Good movie. I've seen it. I will say the storyline is a little weird, only because you can only go so far from the original. But as for a good laugh, and just the good plot, it was a good movie. Parallel. I've seen this on my Roku. I do want to watch it. Parallel stars Daniel Deadwyler as Vanessa, a grief-stricken woman who unexpectedly traverses parallel universes, unwinding mysteries of reportedly haunted forest. Accompanying her are Idlis Hodge as her husband Alex and Edwin Hodge as his brother Martel. The narrative takes a suspenseful turn as the family secrets surface amid their exploration of strange occurrences in the woods, including rumors and vanished individuals due to unnatural experiments. Basically, from what I saw in the trailer, this woman has lost her children. She's grieving. They decide to go to a cabin. This cabin has a weird forest. The weird forest is a dimension transferring portal. So basically, when she goes through this, she goes past this gate, and now she's in another dimension with the same exact her. Looks like her, acts like her, talks like her. A different universe, dimensional her. I guess if you get what I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. And throughout the whole movie, basically, they're not allowed to be seen with each other. They're not allowed to have known of each other. So now they have to figure out what is going on, and that's parallel. Literally, kind of what the movie says. It's parallel universes all over, but it's more than one universe, more than 2, more than 3, more than 4. Okay. Coming in at 5 is Black Tea. Black Tea is a romantic drama film directed by, I don't know how to say his name, Abdurrahman Sissako, starring Nia Malayo as Aya, a young Iranian woman who travels to Guangzhou, China, leaving behind her wedding, only to fall in love with Kai, portrayed by Cheng Han, an older Chinese man. The film explores the challenges their interracial romance face, including cultural bias and personal histories. That actually sounds like a pretty good movie to me. I haven't seen it, but that is something that I would watch. Tyler Perry comes in number 6 with Divorce in Black. I haven't seen this, but this stars Megan Good. And then also, if I can find his name, Corey Hadrick. Yeah. The film is Ava uncovers Dallas's malicious deeds while embarking on a journey to find her true soulmate. The supporting cast includes Joseph Lee Anderson, Taylor Paul Dorr, Richard Lawson, and Debbie Morgan. Coming at number 7 is Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. This movie is a modern remake of 1991 coming-of-age black comedy directed by Wade Allen Marcus. The film stars Simone Jones as Tanya, who must take charge of her siblings after the strict babysitter played by June Squibb dies unexpectedly while their mother is away. To support her family, Tanya secures a job as a fashion company run by Rose. Oh, okay, I know what this movie is. I have seen the ads. I do want to watch it. I'm not sure if it's released yet. All it gives is the release year, but if it is out, go ahead and watch it. I've seen this. I've seen the commercials. The Underdogs, starring Snoop Dogg. This is about a heartfelt comedy that exemplifies the 2024 cinematic trend of blending humor with a personal redemption narrative. Snoop Dogg's portrayal of the down and out footballer finding new purpose through coaching a quirky Pee-wee team offers both laughs and enduring look at the second chances. The film's straightforward approach to the classic underdog trope, matched with a blend of contemporary issues, makes it a relatable and entertaining addition to the year's movie lineup. I've also seen this commercial. Seems interesting, but at the same time, I don't know. Coming in number 9 is Bob Marley, One Love, the bio depiction of Bob Marley himself and through his eyes, also through his wife's eyes. There's a lot that goes into this movie, and I know that there is, and it is really interesting just to see what it was like for him and understand the life of Bob Marley. I honestly thought that as a young child, and it's kind of weird because I come from Jamaican descent, so I kind of would have expected myself to know certain things, but I didn't. But I thought he had an easy life, and I just thought he became famous for his music and helping him get out of Jamaica. But no, there's a lot more to it than you would think. If you do not know the story, this is a good movie to learn. If you love Bob Marley, if you love reggae music, if you just love Jamaican culture, go check it out. And then last but not least is coming in number 10 is The Book of Clarence. The Book of Clarence is an exciting film from visionary director and writer James Samuel, blending comedy, drama, and adventure into the thought-provoking, stereotypical exploration of faith and personal redemption. Lakeith Stanfield delivers a reverting performance as Clarence, supported by an outstanding cast, including the likes of Omar Sy and Alfred Woodward, breathing life into the richly layered story that challenges the viewer's perspectives on spirituality, faith, and ambition. With the unique mix of biracial biblical references and contemporary relevance, this film not only entertains but also invites audience on a humorous journey, making it a watch-worthy cinematic experience this year. This one was released in 2023. I think Bob Marley was released this year. The Underdogs was released this year. Don't Tell My Mom the Babysitter's Dead was released this year. Divorce in the Black was released this year. Black Tea doesn't have. Parallel was released 2023. Bad Boys was released 2024. Shirley was released 2024, and Beverly Hills was released 2024. Some good movies that I've seen in there. Also, some movies that I would like to watch. So go check them out. like I said, if you want to see the whole list, because there is 26 movies on this list, I will post it down below and you can check it out for yourself. That is all I have on the Talking Block live on YouTube this week. Make sure that you listen to the Talking Block. Also, I've realized that I've stopped posting on Spotify, so this week they should all be up there, including this one, if not no later than Tuesday of next week. Just bear with me. Okay? All right. Be sure to listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your audio podcasts from, Radio Public, Overcast, wherever you stream. Be sure to stay here on YouTube, The Talking Block Live. Make sure to follow my TikTok at toast.2.becoming. Follow my Instagram at the.talkin.block. Make sure to click the link in the bio on Instagram, TikTok, or here on YouTube. And go get you a shirt, get you some gear, $25. And the spooky shirt ends October 31st. The regular shirts end November, the second week of November, but they will be back around Christmas time. And make sure that you guys are just sharing the podcast. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about the title down below for the poem of the day. One last time before we go. When my life ended, I thought it was because of love, and it was, but it was also the reason to live. Not live for love, live for you. Written by your podcast host, Nathaniel Larrier. I love you guys. If I can change my mind, that mind will change another's mind. Should change so many more, become a chain of changed minds. TTB, toast to becoming. I will, guys. I will see you guys next